Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we dive deep into one of the most terrifying and transformative chapters of naval warfare, an epic full-scale sea war where ironclad fleets collide and brutal combat reshapes the fate of empires. This is a story of steel against steel, fire against flesh, and human resolve tested in the harshest environment on Earth, the open sea. The age of ironclads marked the end of wooden warships and the beginning of industrialized warfare at sea. Nations poured their ambition into floating fortresses, believing that iron armor and heavy guns would guarantee dominance. What followed was not just progress, but destruction on a scale never witnessed before on the oceans. As the fleets assemble, the sea itself seems tense, as if aware of the violence about to unfold. Massive ironclad battleships move slowly but deliberately, their armored hulls cutting through the waves. Smoke rises from coal-fired engines, darkening the sky and signaling that there is no turning back. Each ship is a symbol of national pride and military power. Thick iron plates line the hulls, designed to deflect enemy fire, while massive cannons rest silently, waiting for the command to unleash devastation. Crews prepare in silence, knowing that once the first shot is fired, survival becomes uncertain. The opening moments of battle are filled with anticipation rather than noise. Fleets maneuver carefully, seeking the best firing angles while trying to protect their weakest points. Commanders understand that a single mistake could doom an entire ship and everyone aboard it. Then the first cannon fires, shattering the calm. The thunderous blast echoes across the sea, followed by a plume of smoke and fire. Moments later, iron shells slam into enemy armor, sending shockwaves through steel hulls and human bodies alike. Soon the battle erupts into chaos. Cannons fire relentlessly, one after another, creating a deafening roar that overwhelms the senses. Smoke blankets the battlefield, making it difficult to see friend from foe. The sea churns violently as ships maneuver under fire. Ironclads exchange blows at close range, their armor groaning under the impact of heavy shells. Some shots glance off harmlessly, while others punch through weak points, tearing open hulls and igniting deadly fires inside. Every hit brings screams, smoke, and blood. Below deck, conditions are hellish. The air is thick with smoke and coal dust, making it hard to breathe. The heat from the engines and guns becomes unbearable. Sailors work tirelessly to reload cannons, repair damage, and tend to the wounded, often under constant threat of explosion. Brutal combat is not limited to long-range fire. As ships close in, ramming becomes a deadly tactic. Ironclads surge forward, aiming reinforced bows at enemy hulls. The impact of steel crashing into steel sends shockwaves through both vessels, throwing men to the deck. Boarding actions sometimes follow, turning naval warfare into savage hand-to-hand combat. Sailors armed with rifles, pistols, and blades clash on blood-soaked decks. In these moments, technology gives way to raw human ferocity and desperation. Fires spread quickly across damaged ships, wooden interiors burn fiercely, trapping crews below deck. Smoke fills corridors, and panicked sailors struggle to escape. Some jump into the sea, choosing drowning over burning alive inside an iron coffin. The sea itself becomes a graveyard. Wreckage floats among oil, blood, and debris. Bodies drift between ships, silent reminders of the cost of war. The water, once a symbol of freedom and trade, now bears witness to unimaginable suffering. Commanders struggle to maintain control amid the chaos. Signals are lost in smoke, flags torn away by explosions. Decisions must be made instantly, often based on incomplete information. Victory and defeat hang on moments of clarity in a storm of confusion. Ironclad warfare is as much about endurance as firepower. Ships can take incredible punishment and keep fighting, but every hit weakens them. Crews grow exhausted, wounded, and terrified, yet they continue, driven by duty, fear, and loyalty. As the battle rages on, the line between hunter and hunted blurs. A ship dominating moments ago can suddenly become helpless after a single catastrophic hit. Exploding boilers, shattered rudders, or flooding compartments can turn power into vulnerability instantly. The soundscape of battle is overwhelming. The boom of cannons, the screech of tearing metal, the cries of the wounded, and the roar of flames merge into a terrifying symphony. Communication becomes nearly impossible. forcing sailors to rely on instinct and training. Some ironclads fight until their final moments. Surrounded by enemies, riddled with holes, and ablaze from bow to stern, they continue firing until ammunition runs out or the ship sinks beneath the waves. These last stands become legends of naval history. Others attempt desperate retreats. Damaged ships turn away, smoke trailing behind them, hoping to escape destruction. Enemy fire pursues relentlessly, shells crashing into sterns and decks as crews struggle to keep their vessels afloat. Weather often plays a cruel role in these battles. Rough seas, heavy rain, or thick fog can change the course of combat instantly. Waves crash over decks, flooding gun ports and making accurate fire nearly impossible. Nightfall brings no peace. Burning ships illuminate the darkness, creating eerie silhouettes against the horizon. Combat continues under flickering firelight, shadows moving across smoke-filled waters. Fear intensifies as visibility drops and surprises become deadly. Throughout the battle, acts of heroism emerge amid the horror. Sailors risk their lives to rescue wounded comrades, repair damage under fire, and keep guns operational against impossible odds. These moments of courage stand in stark contrast to the brutality around them. Medical care during ironclad battles is primitive and overwhelmed. Surgeons work frantically in cramped spaces, amputating limbs shattered by shrapnel and treating burns and wounds with limited supplies. Pain, blood, and death are constant companions. As ships sink, the reality of survival becomes brutally clear. Heavy iron hulls drag vessels down quickly, giving crews little time to escape. Those trapped below deck face a terrifying fate as water floods in relentlessly. The aftermath of the battle is haunting. Smoke slowly clears, revealing shattered fleets and burning wrecks. The sea is littered with debris and survivors clinging to anything that floats. Silence returns, broken only by cries for help and the crackle of dying fires. Victory, when it comes, feels hollow. The cost in lives and destruction overshadows any sense of triumph. Commanders survey the damage, knowing that even the winning side has lost irreplaceable ships and skilled sailors. Ironclad sea wars change naval strategy forever. They prove that industrial power, engineering, and logistics are just as important as bravery and seamanship. Nations race to build stronger ships, bigger guns, and better armor, fueling an arms race at sea. These battles also expose the limits of technology. Iron armor can protect, but it cannot eliminate fear, pain, or death. Behind every steel plate is a human being facing unimaginable danger. The legacy of ironclad warfare extends far beyond the battlefield. It influences ship design, military doctrine, and global politics for decades to come. The oceans become arenas of industrial competition and strategic dominance. Stories of these epic sea wars continue to fascinate us because they represent a turning point in human history. They show how innovation can both protect and destroy, how progress often comes at a terrible cost. When we look back at these battles, we must remember not just the ships and weapons, but the people. Ordinary sailors thrust into extraordinary circumstances, fighting and dying inside iron monsters on a raging sea. The brutality of ironclad combat serves as a warning. It reminds us that war, no matter how advanced the technology, ultimately relies on human sacrifice. Steel may clash, but it is human lives that are shattered. Even today, modern naval warfare carries echoes of these early ironclad battles. The principles of armor, firepower, and fleet coordination remain central, refined by decades of experience and innovation. As the final shots fade and the waves close over the wreckage, the sea reclaims its silence. The iron giants rest on the ocean floor, rusting monuments to ambition, courage, and destruction. These epic full-scale sea wars are more than historical events. They are lessons written in fire and iron, reminding us of the power and peril of human invention when unleashed without restraint. And as we study these brutal clashes of ironclad fleets, we gain a deeper understanding of how the modern world was forged, not just in factories and workshops, but in the blood-soaked waters of the open sea. In the end, the ironclad era stands as a testament to humanity's relentless drive to dominate, innovate, and survive, even when the cost is almost too great to bear. Thank you for watching, and if you found this deep dive into epic ironclad sea warfare insightful, Make sure to stay tuned for more stories where history, power, and human struggle collide.